afternoon, kindergarten friends. This is going to be my last video for the year, and I'm just hoping that you all have a really great summer, and I'm hoping that we get to see each other in the fall, in August, in school, and take care of yourselves and be safe. So, this week we are going to work with words that end in OG. Og. All right. So here are some words that end in OG. Dog, dog. Og, fog. Can someone tell me what fog is? You know, in the morning sometimes when you wake up, if it's been really cold at night and then it's warming up in the morning, sometimes you see the fog. It's hard to see the ground. Or if it's raining out and the temperature's changing, it's hard to see the car lights. That's what fog is. Then we have frog and hog. What's the difference between a hog and a pig? A hog is just really big, right? A hog. Then you have a hedgehog, which is really small. Jog. Who likes to go out for a jog? That's what we used to call running when we jogged. Usually jog means running slower. Oh, I used to love to run. The most I ever ran at one time was 12 miles. I used to love to run. Then we have a log. Well, there is a treat you can actually make at your house, and you take celery and peanut butter and raisins, and it's called ants on a log. So these are some of our OG words. Can anyone think of any other words that have the OG sound? Remember, they all rhyme, right? So maybe dog, fog, frog, hog, jog, log, bog. A bog is kind of like wet ground near a pond, maybe. You have a bog. Okay. So today I wrote a story using the OG words. I'm going to read you my story, and we are going to talk about questions and answers that match the story. All right? So here is the girl jogging with her dog. I took a jog with my dog. How many of you have dogs and you like to go out and take a little run with them? We saw a frog on a log. Does anybody have frogs around their house? We have toads around our house, but they're really good because they eat all the bad bugs. There was a farm with a hog. His name was Bob. Do you think that's a funny name for a hog? I'm going to read it one more time. I took a jog with my dog. We saw a frog on a log. There was a farm with a hog. His name was Bob. His name was Bob the hog. That's pretty funny, isn't it? I wonder if there are some stories you could make up using our words. If you want to stop the video and take a few minutes to see if you can come up with some funny sentences to match with these matching words, that would be a lot of fun, wouldn't it? That would be a lot of fun. All right, so we have our OG words and we have our story. So now I have some questions that match our story. So make sure you get a piece of paper and a pencil so that we can work together with this. Our first question is, who did I jog with? Okay, so it says, I took a jog with my dog. Now, an easy answer for this sentence would be, if you said, who did I jog with? You could put my dog. But you could also put, I jogged with my dog. My dog and I took a jog. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit, you could write that as your answer. Where was the frog? Let's look back at our story. We saw a frog on a log. You can answer this a couple different ways. It says, where was the frog? You could put on a log, or you could challenge yourself a little bit and say, the frog was on a log. Remember, it's always good to challenge yourself. Make it a little harder. See if you can do that. My third question was, who was Bob? Who was Bob? Well, let's look back at our little story again. There was a farm with a hog. His name was Bob. So, who was Bob? You could say a hog, but that's not a complete sentence. You could say Bob was a hog. It's always better to write more. Remember, we've been talking about how next year in first grade, your first grade teachers are going to challenge you to write longer sentences, complete sentences. This year we've been learning as kindergartners how to write words and how to write simple. At the beginning of the year, you might have said, I like dogs. That would have been your sentence. Maybe now you could put, I like big dogs with a lot of fur. So your sentences went from very short, now they could get much longer. All right. So if you want to challenge yourself, you might take a piece of paper and write some more questions. Okay. I made an example of, where did Bob live? Where did Bob live? Bob lived on a farm. Bob lived on a farm. You might want to say, where was the hog? The hog was on the farm. And if you really want to challenge yourself even more, you might ask questions that aren't in the story. You might say, have you ever been on a farm? What is your favorite animal? What kind of animals are on the farm? You can do a lot of different things to challenge yourself. It's a good idea. So let's remember when we are writing, let's go over some of our writing rules. Begin each sentence with an uppercase letter. What is the word that is always uppercase? What is the word that is always uppercase? Let me hear what you say. Yes, the word I. Like if I said, my daughter and I went to a movie. It doesn't matter where the word I is in the sentence. When I'm talking about myself, the I is always uppercase. Okay, remember that. Now, number 2, you're going to keep a finger space between your words. How can you make a finger space between your words? A lot of different ways. You can use your finger to make a finger space. You can use a pencil or a pen to make a finger space. Or if you remember, Miss Fletcher told us at the beginning of our online teaching, you can always take a small spoon and use the handle of the spoon to make a space between your words. Now, we end each sentence with a period or a question mark. Let's look over here. I took a jog with my dog. Period. Now let's look over here. Who did I jog with? Well, when we ask a question, we end our question with a question mark. A lot of important things to remember. Please, 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 over the summer, if you want to review these, if you want to review our videos to keep your writing up, feel free to do so. Okay, it's a good idea. Write a story. Think of something fun. Write a story. Write some questions and answers. Have fun this summer. I'm going to miss you all, but I will be seeing you in August.